So I will introduce myself first until more people join. I am Salma Yahya. I am senior faculty and course leader at Eaton Business School. I'm a master's degree holder from the German University in Cairo, and I'm currently possessing my PhD in Philips Marburg University on business sustainability. And it's my pleasure and my honor to be the facilitator for today's webinar, Women in Leadership, on the occasion of Women's Day. So this is a brief on or an overview on today's webinar agenda. So the topic, as you know, is Women in Leadership. And in this area, we will be tackling three major issues. Why women matter in leadership roles? Why is it important to have women in leadership roles? What are the key challenges that face women in leadership? And possible ways on how to overcome these challenges faced. We also have examples of distinguished female leaders along with us. We will discuss them. And we also have guest speakers from Eaton Business School, remarkable women who have made it through a very progressive career paths. They will share their experience with us today. And at the end, we have a surprise for all the women attending our webinar today. It's a campaign announcement that we will do later at the end of the webinar. And then the webinar will be open for questions and answers. If you have any questions and answers regarding the topic, regarding the admission, anything else. Okay, so you can save your questions later. I will progress with the slides and the presentation, and you can write down the questions or save them later because it will be very hard to follow up on the chat screen as we go along. I want to make a comment, or I want to make a statement that, do you know that the next Steve Jobs will be a woman? So there is a growing body of research that indicates that women have or are given a fair shot and are better at high growth entrepreneurship than men. And they are not just as good as men, but they are also better. I know these statements might seem a lot competitive to all the men attending today, but today's Women's Day, and this is how the presentation will go. So to start off, I want to tell you that yes, the next Steve Jobs is expected to be a woman. So, and I will show you through research and through statistics and real data how this could be possible. So the next Steve Jobs will be a woman. This is the slide that I was reading out, and I'm saying this out of research. Okay, so there is a growing body of research that indicates that women are better when it comes to entrepreneurship and high growth skills, and they are not as good as men, but they are also better. So women have played multiple roles in the society, and they have started entering the entrepreneurship world with a lot of leadership positions. This is what we will show throughout the slides. And this class today, or this webinar today, deals with issues like that. And to address this, we have to first define what, or recognize what leadership is. I will turn the slides. I'm not sure it's turning right. Yes, okay. I turned the next slide. Can you see the next slide, guys? Okay, great. So a leader is a person who influences and encourages a group of people towards realization of specific goals. And an indicator to whether you are an appropriate leader or not, or you are a good leader or not, is your capability to influence others among you towards achieving specific goals and towards betterment. So as Chester Bernard sums up, leadership is the ability of a superior to influence the behavior of his subordinates or group, or to persuade them to follow a particular course or a particular action or towards a particular goal. Anyone has any idea who Chester Barnard is? Chester Barnard is an American business executive, public administrator, and he's an author of pioneering work in management theory, and specifically leadership. So this is leadership in general. how does leadership look like from a woman perspective? Or how does leadership look like when it's a woman? To understand this, we have to note one major thing, that leadership is not gender specific. Leadership is not gender specific, meaning that it's not only men who can hold leadership positions. And when women, as I mentioned, have proven to be very effective when it comes to leadership or to leadership roles, and they are gradually making their leadership presence felt in various areas of business, politics, technology, human resource, all areas. And they are constantly evolving, and they are reaching new milestones every day. So what is leadership with a woman characteristics? Leadership in a woman characteristic has certain outframes or comes in a certain form. So women tend to lead in a transformational leadership style. What is a transformation leadership style? Anyone wants to give a guess? What could be transformational leadership style? Okay, I don't see someone lighting, so I will go on. So a transformation leadership style is when you function as a role model for your subordinates. So women tend to inspire their teams, and they spend more time on coaching with their teams, and they care a lot about the personal development of their teams. So they emphasize teamwork, and they care a lot about communication, and they consider communication as a key success to the business or to the team. And for most women, leadership is not meant only for accomplishing organization goals, but also for transforming their followers into better people. Okay, so that's why when we talk about the characteristics of women leadership, we say that it's more transformational, because they are not only focusing on the accomplishment of the organization goals, they are also focusing on the betterment of their subordinates. Women tend to be task-focused. So women leaders are focused on the completion of tasks they are assigned to according to deadlines, and they are very good in meeting that. And from an operational point of view, completing day-to-day tasks is very necessary to ensure a smooth flow of company's operations. So this is again a credit for women in leadership, or women that are holding leadership positions. Women prefer to work in a collegial atmosphere. A collegial atmosphere is that they prefer to work in a flat hierarchy, a hierarchy that looks like that, not like this, okay? So they are focused or they like to work more on this flat hierarchy, because this enables work as a team, and it enables everyone within the organization to take role in decision making, because flat organization structures overlooks the experience and the knowledge of the employees rather than the seniority, who is giving the orders, who is giving the decisions or the instructions. So women leaders usually are very critical when it comes to hierarchical structure. They don't like it. They prefer, or they work more, or they work better with flat hierarchy. They promote cooperation and collaboration. And I think this matches the fact that they are following a transformational leadership style, right? So this explains the other one. Because they are following more of a transformational leadership style, that's why they promote cooperation and collaboration among groups. So this is a typical feminine characteristic, where women leaderships always promote cooperation among the team members. They tend to make their team members clearly defined on the roles, the responsibilities, and this results in a better work atmosphere, or what we call a better work culture. They tend to be more democratic when it comes to their communication style. So their communication style is more towards a democratic style. They like to be more participatory. They possess a democratic style of leading people. Other than the opposite is the command and control style. This is the other extreme. So as a feminine characteristic of leadership, they oppose to that. they usually lead through a democratic style. I will take your comments on this, which is very interesting. So you can keep this in mind at the end. If you have been led by women before, which of these characteristics, that, since you understand them now, which of those were shown in your women leaders, or they were the opposite? So you could think about this as we move further, and we could have this as a discussion. Okay, so we talked, I don't know why this slide keeps going like this. We talked about the definition of leadership. We talked about leadership in with women, having women in leadership, how it looks like, what are the characteristics of women in leadership. Now we will talk about the benefits. What are the benefits of having a woman as a leader? So benefits of women leadership come or show in different sectors, and they show differently in different sectors. And they are of significance as to their male counterparts. And there are 4 major benefits that research has identified when it comes to having women as leaders. First of all, and of course you will realize that the benefits show as an outcome of the characteristics of leadership style that we discussed earlier. So then the first one of them is their ability to unify diverse groups. So because women symbolize unity, and they praise collaboration and cooperation, as we mentioned in the leadership style. So it's to them, it's very important as a survival key for the whole organization. So they tend to make sure that diversity here refers to there's different people within the organization, and these all people are given enough care. Their interests are appreciated. Their characteristics are well understood. So women leaders see diversity as an advantage to secure a balanced and unique relationship among group members. They understand this very well, or they are very good in understanding that. Women also improve interpersonal relationships among group members. So to be a strong professional or to be a successful leader in any area or any sector, you need to work a lot on communication skills among your group members. And luckily, when women lead, they are very good in building interpersonal relationships within the team members and within the leader and the team members and among the team members together. And in this way, because they tend to be good listeners, okay, than men if they are compared to men. And so they are more effective communicators, and hence they are able to, again, bring better culture to the group. They value accountability. They value accountability, and accountability here counts for, any idea what accountability here counts for? They tend to be more accountable than men. Yes, excellent. Thank you, Dania. They tend to be more responsible. According to research, they tend to be more responsible than their male counterparts. They hold themselves responsible for the decisions they have made within the group or within the team that they are leading, and they tend to hold themselves accountable for any decision making, whether it comes out, it results in a positive or a negative impact on the whole organization performance. Women embrace collaboration. Again, this is very relevant to what we have discussed about women leadership style, and it comes to complete benefit number 1 and benefit number 2. How women praise the diversification of groups among teams, and how they tend to work on improving interpersonal relationships. This is an outcome of them embracing collaboration among team members. Okay, as an outcome of these benefits, we can see that in the 21st century, there are essential qualities that are required to lead. And so you have to be collaborative, you have to have connections, you have to communicate properly. And these are all feminine traits in nature. that can help a business grow in a more sustainable manner towards the future. So gender parity in leadership is very important because it's a true progress that cannot happen without a diverse perspective in leadership roles. And a diverse perspective means that we should not be stereotyped, that leaders should not only be men, there should also be women leadership as well. And there are many statistics that show that companies led by women have better financial results or have performed better financially. And this is what I will show you in the coming slide as proven evidence. So we're trying to say that corporates or businesses that are not taking women as a leadership position into consideration have a lost opportunity in the market. So this is a report that was done by Forbes in 2020. It's a compiled research report that compiles research from different areas of the world and from different organizations or consultancy firms. So the firms I mentioned here are, some of them are foundations, others are, so for example, Mass Challenge is a consultancy firm, Kaufman is a foundation, others are research centers, and Forbes combines this data together and comes up with a set of statistics that relates to women in leadership and why is it important to have women in leadership. So according to Kaufman Foundation, private technology led by women are more capital efficient, achieving 35% higher return on investment when venture-backed, and 12% higher revenue than startups that are run by men. And according to Mass Challenge and BCG, Boston Consulting Group, a study of 350 startups determined that businesses funded by women deliver high revenue, 2 times more as per dollar invested than those funded by men. And according to MSCI ESG Research Group in 2019, companies in MSCI World Index with strong women leadership generated a return on equity of 10.1% per year versus 7.4% for those without strong women leadership. And according to American Express research advisor Jerry Stingel, women-owned businesses are growing much faster than all businesses. So he has conducted a longitudinal study that from 2007 to 2018, women-owned businesses grow by 58% in terms of the number of firms and 46% in terms of the number of revenue. And the list goes on. We can provide you with this slides if you want, so you can have a reference to this data as well. So the list goes on. So we have understood what leadership is and what are the leadership traits that women possess when placed in a leadership position. What are benefits that women could bring to leadership positions? And now we are faced with the reality. What are the barriers that women are facing when it comes to leadership positions? And as I told you in the beginning, I want you to note down what are the characteristics of women leaders that you have come across, if they are similar to any of the one we've mentioned today. I also want you to list down, as women, of course, what are the barriers that you were faced with along your career path? Okay, and are they similar to the ones that research has collected, or do you have something very different that you want to share with us today? So among the major barriers to having women in leadership is that societies are heavily leaning towards the male members of the society. There is, in many parts of the world, and I think Middle East is one of them, Africa as well, the society is more of a male-dominant society. So it's leaning more towards the male members of the society. And then there is a set of social, cultural, and religious practices that are misunderstood, that deny the basic freedom to women, and they hinder women from holding specific leadership roles in different areas, different sectors, and different platforms. There is a priority to male members in the family and the society. So it's not only a regional thing, it's an individual barrier as well. It's among the society and the close family members. And there is general biased perceptions that feminine qualities inferior to those of masculine qualities. So there is a general biased perception that women hold qualities that are less when it comes to leadership. They are not qualified enough, or they are not good enough. And there is a perception that leadership is a male thing, which is, of course, again, a stereotype that to be a leader, you have to be a man. Other barriers include gender disparity. And in gender disparity, we have social structure discrimination. We have low representation in leadership positions. So there are few women that are holding leadership positions, and that's why it becomes harder and harder for other women to reach these positions. There is political apathy towards against women. So again, they are favoring men. Professional competency. In some societies and in some regions of the world, women are not given proper education. So they actually suffer professional competency. So they are not competent enough to hold a leadership position, not because they don't have the proper qualities, or they don't have the proper skills, but because they were not given the equal chance to a proper education. Maintaining work-life balance. And this is applicable to many women that are already in the field. They are always faced with a work-life balance challenge or a compromise between kids, home, and jobs, and how to take a leadership role along with or alongside with all these parallel responsibilities. So I want you to think, what are barriers that you are facing or have faced? And if they are different from those, it would be interesting if you can share them with us later. So according to the flow or the agenda of the webinar, we discussed what leadership is in a very simple manner. We talked about leadership traits in women. We talked about the importance and the benefits women could bring when holding leadership positions. And we talked about the barriers. To be fair enough, we could also talk about the enablers. How to promote, okay? How could we slightly overcome, or what are ways to overcome the barriers that we have mentioned? To lead as a woman, you need a supportive family. And the supportive family is important on various levels. It acts as a source of inspiration. It's a very effective enabler to reaching leadership. It's an influencing factor for you as a woman, and it's an empowering social institution as well. So because if you gain this support from your family members, your husband, your parents, whoever you're surrounded with, this will have an impact over the society as a whole, because having women in leadership will change the perspective of the whole society. So a supportive family is not only influencing the woman holding the position, it's also placing influence on the whole society's culture. Good education. Remember when we talked about the barriers? Some females have professional miscompetency. They are not they are not giving enough chance to be well educated. So again, good education is an enabler for women to progress as leaders, because education will help women acquire knowledge. It will enable women to free themselves from the bondage of ignorance and the bondage of any biased thoughts that they were brought up among their societies. It creates self-confidence. It will give them higher self-confidence, which is a very important trait for a leader. And it will enlighten them towards a larger world with broader views. Finally, a secure social environment. A secure social environment is an environment that respects women, understands their needs, helps them become better on all levels, and provides them with enough support to become leaders. So a secure social environment will enable women to become an effective leader. It will encourage and build trust among women and among their other counterparts as men. It will enhance women's self-confidence the same way that education will do, and a supportive family as well. It will provide more opportunities. A secure social environment will provide equal or more opportunities to women to progress leadership roles in different careers. Having one of these factors or these enablers working alone will be a very difficult constitution of raising women towards leadership. Okay, these factors have to work together. That's why we say that it requires a transformation on an individual, societal, and economic side as well. Okay, so it's an integration of all these together: the society, the individual, and the economy, towards the belief in this goal. That's why we started with the benefits, because we want to show that if you do that as a country, or if you embrace this as a region, or as an organization, or as a business, you will definitely reach better results. Again, we're still talking about enablers, but we're taking enablers from a more practical perspective. What are specific things that we could carry on that will help us put women in leadership? And I specifically chose the area of a social environment, okay, to talk about the society in general. So we need to change some aspects or some stereotypes that are around us in order to break these barriers and come out of the box that we're stuck in. So there must be a change of the male dominant society towards women. And this requires a lot of work from government side in the syllabus and in the cultural material that students are actually exposed to in the early years of education. So this is when you are creating your perceptions about people around you, about your counterpartners, about the society, and so on. So this requires a very big plan of transformation. There has to be necessary constitutional and legal measures to build a secure social environment for women at work. Okay, so we have to have legislations that consider women being as leaders and put a certain legal framework for women to work in securely. We have to have equal consideration of girls and women in comparison to boys in the family and the society. When they come to comparison together, we have to have a change in the organization and corporate. On an organizational level, we have to have a change in the organization and corporate policies to allow women to reach the top level, because we still have organizations running around where it's not possible for you to progress further if you're a woman. Sadly, this is still present. So such organizations and such policies and procedures need to be changed. So this is on a corporate level, not a societal level. We have to have laws that are effectively implemented against women abusers. If there is any incidents that, or any reported incidents of abuse, we have to have strict and firm laws and effective implementation, not only that I file a complaint and then nothing changes or nothing happens. We have to design an education system that is suitable for women, okay? And we have to have some sort of peace and order within the social members in general. Still talking on policy enablers or practical implications to having women in leadership, this is on a corporate level. You as a corporation or you as a business, you need to recruit women employees more actively. You need to provide more training opportunities to them so they become knowledgeable enough. You need to have succession plans for women to become leaders. With this in mind, this is an HR role or organization behavioral role. You need to encourage more of a woman-friendly culture within the organization. A woman-friendly culture is one that embraces flexible work hours, gives equal opportunity as given to men, has a clear mapping for women progression plans, as I mentioned, succession plans, gives provisions for self-care. I have an example from Chevron. It's an oil and gas company. They have a special section for women where women can come to relax and to have some pampering. And it's very interesting. It's a case you can read about, okay? And you should have some understanding and provisions for family support when a woman has a family and comes along with kids and so on. This is, as we're approaching the end of the slides, these are some statistics that from a report that's titled "Think Governments Are Achieving Gender Diversity in the Workforce? Then Think Again," because they are not. They are actually not. And this is how the statistics shows that they are not. This was done across 17 countries around the world, specifically on the public sector, okay? And as you can see here, this is the gray area marks, or the gray line marks the total public sector, and the yellow one marks women senior civil servants. It's interesting to see the categorization of the countries. So Canada lists highest when it comes to women who are holding leadership positions in public sector. Saudi Arabia comes lowest. And you can see the list of other countries that were included in the study alongside between them. This data is very important for policymakers. So it's very important for corporations and organizations to make decisions on where do they need to work more, which are areas and regions of the world that need to take all the stuff that we mentioned into consideration. They need to start to have a plan and action regarding this. This is more statistics relevant to the same study on the future of women in leadership. So when they asked, in the survey they have distributed, when they asked how many years it will take to achieve 30 to 40% women on board, 46% said they are already there, 15% said it's up to 5 years, and 4% mentioned that they will never reach this by any means. So at least this percent is still good. So this is a good percent to start with. And when they were asked, what change do you expect in the next 5 years to the number of women in leadership? A significant increase was mentioned by only 11, which is a little bit devastating, I would say. And the yellow part resembles a slight increase. 60% believe a slight increase will happen. No change will happen by 26%, and will decrease is 2%. This is the only good thing in that. But yes, 60% believe that a slight increase will happen in the next 5 years when it comes to women in leadership. This is, again, a good number to start with. Statistics on approaches to women in leadership, to having women in leadership. We already talked about academic research and practical implications as enablers of how to include women in leadership. This statistics or this survey is relevant again to the same study or the same research title that I mentioned a couple of slides ago. So they mentioned that among the approaches to developing women leadership, 49% agreed that to develop women and men equally as part of the existing leadership program, and do not intend to change this. So this was mentioned, this is very important. This was mentioned as the major factor or the major enabler to approaching or to developing women leaders. Okay, other factors or other approaches were having structured and formal programs to identify and develop women's career leadership, have an informal program to identify and develop careers in leadership, but plan to put more formal program, have an informal program to identify and develop women careers in leadership with no plans to formalize it. And finally, statistics on the barriers that are facing women in leadership. Honestly, I like this one so much. So what were the top barriers to women in leadership? They mentioned that from a male perspective, they saw that lack of flexible working arrangements was one major thing, which is definitely true, okay? And you can see that females agreed highly as well on that. Shortage of available female candidates. There is not enough candidates. And this brings us to the slide we mentioned before. Maybe they were not given the chance. Maybe they don't have enough training. They don't have enough knowledge. They are not professionally competent enough. Conflict with raising a family. This is a social barrier that we've mentioned as well. And lack of female role models in organizations. And we mentioned this as well, because if you work in an organization where there is no female role models to look up to, it becomes very hard and it becomes a very challenge for you to become a leader as well. And the list goes on. So before we talk on more on this, we'll say that we want to mention who are the leadership women around the globe. And we have a lot of women that are holding leadership positions around the globe. One that I want to mention here is Indra Noi. She is an Indian by birth, and she is one of the most successful top female executive in the United States, and is constantly ranked among the world's 100 most powerful women. And she's widely acknowledged as the chief architect of PepsiCo's unprecedented growth and reach. Okay, so this is one model I highlight. I choose models from around the world. Okay, I try to be more generalized, so I chose models from around the world, leading in different areas. So this beautiful lady is leading in the area of fast-moving consumer goods and FMCGs. We have Ellen Sirleaf. She's an African first democratic elected women president. She led Liberia through recovery following the long civil war, and she responded to Ebola crisis of 2014 to 2015, and she won the international acclaim for the economic, social, and political achievements of her administration. And in 2011, she was awarded a Nobel Prize for her work to empower women. We have Mona Salah Zulfikar. She's a prominent Egyptian lawyer and human rights activist, and she was included in Forbes 2021, the list for the 100 most powerful businesswomen in the Arab region, and she ranked 24, which is a very high rank for an Arab woman. It's a precedent in Forbes 2021. And we have the famous Oprah Winfrey. She's a popular name in the Western entertainment world today. She's a talk host, actress, producer. She has talk shows on television, and she's an iconic role to all women who have passed through very hardships during their childhood and during their years of race. And the list goes on. It never ends. So we have women leading, and we have powerful women in different careers, as I mentioned: technology, business, law, finance, economics, entrepreneurship, politics. Angela Merkel, Jacinda Ardern, Hillary Clinton. Okay, so we have a huge list to look up to. These are the references for all the material that I have used today in terms of articles, research, academic research, studies, and a list of books. We will provide you with this if you want to have it, or if you want to look up on it on your own. And as we mentioned, or as we talked about women leadership in worldwide, and we got models from the whole world. Luckily, we at EBS, because we are very selective in the way we choose our candidates, and we are very selective when it comes to learners, we're lucky to have a bunch of beautiful ladies who are leading in different areas, across the globe, okay, holding different leadership positions. So here are some of them. We have Joyce John, Executive MBA in Business Analytics, holding a Process Optimization Manager at Coca-Cola Beverages from Botswana. We have Saloni Nisha, Masters of Business Administration, Women in Africa Initiative from Mauritius. We have Josephine Iman, Executive MBA in Healthcare Management. She's a Chief Executive Officer at the leading retail pharmacy chains in Nigeria. We have Debbie Botha. She's doing Executive MBA in Supply Chain and Logistics, and she's Chief Partner Officer at Women in AI, Artificial Intelligence in UAE. And luckily, we have two of these beautiful women with us today as guest speakers. I will give the talk to Josephine first to talk about her experience with leadership and the challenges that she has come across as a woman of 3 children, holding a CEO position for, as I mentioned, a leading retail pharmacy chain in Nigeria. And luckily she's with us today. And I think she's already in the room, right? Josephine,
yeah, I'm here.
You're here with us. Okay.
Yes.
So Josephine, would you like to introduce yourself about your leadership role, the challenges you were faced with, how did you manage to overcome them, and so on. The mic is all yours.
Do I need to put on my camera now? You need me to put on my camera, is it necessary?
Sorry?
You need me to put on the camera.
Yes, you can,
okay.
if you want. Yeah, if you want.
Okay, all right.
We would love to see you, all of us.
Okay. Hello, ladies. Can you hear me very well? Good.
Very well. I will mute myself so we don't cause an echo.
Okay.
And you can go on.
Okay. Good afternoon from Nigeria, and happy International Women's Day to every lady on the platform. My name is Josephine Ehimen. I'm a pharmacist, and I run a retail pharmacy chain of 22 stores in Lagos, in Nigeria, spread across different states in Nigeria. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Sama, for the opportunity. So I'll just go straight to it, my leadership experience so far. I'll start with the qualities that I have that help me to lead. I'm a first child in a family of 10, so naturally, you are a leader. You have to. If you don't have the characteristics, you just have to learn it. When you have 9 siblings, so that's when I had leadership trust on me right from day one. So, and then I had to work on, one of the qualities I had to work on as a leader was communication. As a leader, you can't lead if you cannot communicate. Naturally, growing up, I was a very shy person, and I tend to prefer to take the back seat if given the opportunity. But as I grew in my career, I found that to lead, I had to be able to speak out. That I had to intentionally groom myself to be able to do. So one of the things I do was to attend the John Maxwell Leadership Program in that's held in Miami, Florida. So it's about a couple of months, and we are taught how to speak and comport yourself as a leader. That came in very handy as a business owner too. So I had to grow personally in my leadership skill. And then as a leader too, one of the things that helped me to do well as a leader is to invest in myself. So apart from my pharmacy education, I took the leadership course I spoke about. I've also taken some CEO courses that will help me in my leadership, and also doing the program at EBS, a very beautiful program that also helped me to leverage on a network right here. That has also impacted me positively. And another quality that helps me as a leader, as women, we all have this instinct. You just knowing that you just feel as a leader that this is right or this is wrong. It helps you as a mother, that just tells you that this is what you have to do. So that has come in very handy for me, running my business with a staff strength of almost 240 staff. So you need to have a knowing when you are employing key management staff, when you are making some major business decision or going into some investment. So just that, some people call it intuition. You can call it intuition or instinct or a knowing. So that has helped me to avert some mistakes. Not that I don't make any mistake, I still make, but majorly I follow my instincts. And so that's one of them. And then being able to be creative. As a leader, you need to have creative skills to think outside the box. Here in Nigeria, as in most African countries, if you are not creative, you will be stuck, because you have to be able to think outside the box as a business person. So that's one of the things I think is a good quality to have as a leader, more so as a female leader. And then another quality is being result-oriented. As a leader, I tend to focus on results. And most female leaders, from what Sama has already talked about, they are always goal-oriented. They focus on the goals, and it's no surprise that they tend to achieve more at the end of the day, more than our male counterparts, because we focus on the goals. Sometimes we can have laser focus because we see men see in black and white, but women see in all colors, and that tends to help us in a lot of things. Sometimes you can be talking to somebody and you see something which nobody else sees, but you can see it because you are a woman. So that also helps me, basically. And one of the other things that helps me as a leader is to, like someone said, is the support from my family helps. You can't do too well as a leader if you do not have that support. You can only grow to a certain level. So for me, having the support of my children, who are now young adults, and my husband and family and friends helps you to foster, because if somebody doesn't, if you don't have somebody to fall back on when the times are tough, it's a bit difficult. Then as a leader, there are female leader now specifically. What challenges do I face? There are a lot as a female leader. First of all, is the what she talked about, the glass ceiling. This is very common with ladies in corporate setting. Ladies in corporate setting is very common. That is why you find that now you have more women migrating to business. That way they are able to control what they do and the results they get. But they still face it, because from time to time, you still have to interact with other people. So glass ceiling is a challenge for those in corporate world. I didn't work too long in the corporate world, because it's assumed that there's a level you can reach as a woman, and if you tend to want to be too ambitious, you get all sorts. And a lot of women that someone has showed us that we already know have gone ahead to break some of those ceilings. And it was not an easy job, I guess, for them, because as a woman, even getting role models as a woman is difficult sometimes, because you are in an office, you report to a guy who reports to a guy, and that's also a form of stifle sometimes. So being able to juggle all that is a challenge for you as a woman, for us all as women. But we thank those that have gone ahead of us to break some of these, the likes of Oprah, Ellen, Salib, and the rest. We thank them, because we are trying to step into the footsteps that they have placed for us. And then work-life balance. That I don't think it ever balances. I started my business. This is my 19th year of business, and my first child is 25 this year. So that means he was just barely 5 or 6 years old when I started my business. And I had two other kids in my business. So that means it was not easy. So I have to take my kids to school, drop them off at school. When they close, quickly go and bring them to the office, and all that is always a handful. For my young business, it was very challenging. I had a nanny who had to come to work with me, and when we all go. So my kids stay long hours in the office and all that. Because you are growing, it's a new business, and I need to be there for my business, and my kids are young, I need to be there for my kids. So it's a lot to juggle as a woman in business and in leadership. I won't say it ever balances. I think at every point in time, you are compromising something. You have to look at each time, which one do I let go at this time? It never really balances. So it's a compromise. So, but my business is, this is my 19th year. So when my children became teenagers and they had to go to school in Canada, I couldn't let them go alone. So I had to take 5 years off my business to go and stay with my children. And as you can imagine, it was mentally, mental torture, because you're like, is my business doing well? Is it going to close down? But you have to be there for your kids. So I think all women go through this work-life balance, and then you have your husband picture for those that are married, and that is a whole ball game. And then I also, at the beginning, and then from time to time, there's that imposter syndrome. I know we all go through it sometimes as women. When I say imposter syndrome, it's that feeling you get when you ask yourself, do I deserve to be here? It comes from time to time, anytime you want to go into a new level. So you ask yourself, am I fit to be on this table? The only thing I do personally to overcome that imposter syndrome is to look at where I am coming from, what I have done to get here, what I have invested in myself personally. So that helps me. So it's a continuous battle, especially when you sit in places that you look at, and sometimes you are the only woman there, and you have that imposter syndrome. So you have to talk yourself out of it and tell yourself, I've come this far and I deserve to have a seat at this table. So that's one of the challenges. And of course, you know, because I'm African, men are seen as natural leaders. So your mom will tell you, take the food to your brother. Has your brother eaten? It's always the ladies that are watching out for the men. So we grew up with that mindset. I was listening to the radio today, while they were celebrating International Women's Day, and somebody was saying how a guy resigned because his new boss was a woman, and he said where he comes from, you don't take instructions from a woman, and he resigned. Can you beat that? So I am looking forward to the day when all this the bias will be broken.
Stereotype.
Honestly, where the bias will be broken, and then we'll all have an even playing field. Because
he needs heavy training, Josephine. He needs heavy training.
I know. At the end of the day, give a woman space and she will move the world. As we're saying in a lot of women in politics, they are no nonsense. They do not cut corners and all that. And but unfortunately, we have to keep fighting. And one of the things I would say I've learned as a business, as a woman, as a female leader, is first of all, we have to invest in raising the next generation that will break this bias, because most of this mindset started from the home, started from us telling the ladies, sit down there, keep quiet. Women are not supposed to be heard and stuff like that. So as women, it's the onus rests on us to raise the next generation of society that will embrace women as leaders, that will break that bias. So it's up to us. There's so little the government can do. They can only try, you know, but if we start raising them right well now and boosting our daughters that you can do it, go for it, and tell our boys, nobody says your sister can't do this because she's a girl. That will help us. We change the mindset, and then we probably have a time will come when we all have a level playing field. So that's one blessing I'm looking, and I'm trying with my sons. I have 2 sons and a daughter, and I try to make sure that I correct that with my children. And another one I would say, lesson I've learned that will help us to be is invest in yourself. You know, there's that confidence that comes from education. And when I'm talking about education, I'm not just talking about the 4 walls of the school. You get it from your network, the people that you move around with, your friends. So let's get educated as women so that we are able to step out there and represent women folks, so to speak. And as women leaders, we need to be able to step out of our comfort zone. Sometimes we just accept status quo and sit in our corners and accept the norm. But if we are able to know, you can imagine how many times they told, what's the name of just skips me now, the vice president of America, what's her name again? Just skipped me. You can imagine how many times they told her, go and sit down, you can't do it and all that. But she broke it and she's there, you know? So if we are able to step out of our comfort zone and take the bull by the horns and take this position of leadership and have a voice, I'm sure we will have more women, more Oprahs, more ladies in leadership out there, both in politics, banking, law, and all the sectors. And then one other one, I would say, we as women need to work on our emotional intelligence. Sometimes we are feelers, and that works against us. You know, a man will take rejection, bounce back and go. A woman will not sit and take it personal. So if we can work on I had to learn that to myself, be able to stomach it when I get a no in my business. When I submit a business proposal and I get a no, I have to build myself to be able to tell myself, there will be a next time, not to take it personal. So that's one thing, the emotional intelligence, not get too emotionally attached to things or brood over things that we can't get. So that's a lesson I've learned and I'm still learning, trying to be able to keep a straight face even when in my heart I'm caving in. We need more strong women that can be emotionally intelligent. So that's one of the things. And then finally, I would say women should support women. You know, sometimes I'm sorry to say we are our own worst enemies sometimes. So more women to support more women. So that way we'll all be able to build that strong society of strong women internationally. Like I'm sure from on this platform we have women from different countries around the world. You know, so this is a beautiful program, and I want to thank EBS for the opportunity. I hope I have not overstepped my time. So thank you so much, Salma. I appreciate it.
Josephine, thank you so much. This is what we call it. It's a talk from the heart. So I love it. It's so good. I highlight the part where you talked about persistence, coming down and then bringing yourself up again, even when it has to do with education, not only career, but also education and knowledge building. Thank you so much. This is very valuable. Please stay with us. We have another beautiful lady, our second speaker today. Miss Debbie. Hello, Debbie, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, so Debbie Botha, Executive MBA in Business Analytics and Chief Partner Officer at Women in AI at UAE. Debbie, I will leave the talk to you. You can first start by introducing yourself and then talk to us about your leadership role and the challenges you're facing, how you're trying to overcome them. And the mic is all yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Selma. Your talk was very inspiring. I took lots of notes there. I loved it. And Josephine, also awesome, really awesome. I loved the work-life balance. I'll also talk a bit about that. I'll talk a bit about the imposter syndrome, as well as women that have to support women. So I think we're very much in line, the three of us today. So yeah, happy Women's Day to everybody. I'm Debbie Botha. I'm a mother of 3 young adults. And this year I will be married for 30 years. So it's quite an accomplishment. So today I'll... Thank you. It's an accomplishment right there. Well, today I'd like to talk a bit about my career. I'll talk a bit of the importance of mentorship and communities, and how to navigate challenges if it comes your way. And just interesting things. Last year in December, I gave a very similar talk in the metaverse. So that was so interesting, awesome experience. It was with Women in AI and our partner. And we did it with our metaverse vendor, Evenness, for the Christmas celebrations. So I just think we should embrace this technology a lot going forward. It just takes fun to a next level when we come together. So just a bit about my career. I started in the early 90s in South Africa as a COBOL and natural adabas programmer on the IBM mainframe. And in the mid-90s, I pivoted to SAS programming, to data warehouses, data mining. I don't know if I'm going to bore you guys, but it's a technical career that I've had over the years. And I really progressed my career in data analytics and AI. And I remember most of the pivots and really bold career progressing moves have been influenced by female leaders. So some of them took me under their wings and coached me. Others took me along when their careers progressed. And when I was at IBM, one of my favorite female leaders, Mandy Chesel, she helped me to get into a leadership team of a community of around 800 information architects. And that really showed me the importance and the value of communities. And I think you'll agree with me that we are inspired by female leaders, and a community is really a great place to incubate that inspiration. So I'm just going to get a bit technical here. Around the world, artificial intelligence has become embedded in all our everyday life. So it touches how we work, how we communicate, how we play and purchase. And we call it the fourth industrial revolution that we have to look at, as well as, if you look at the ramifications of COVID-19, the pandemic, and the worldwide diversity drive. Gartner predicted that in 2022, 85% of artificial intelligence projects will deliver erroneous outcomes because of things like bias. And I think that's really important in this discussion. It's crucial in our time, where only 26% of data and AI positions are taken up by women. So never mind leaders, even in the technical fields, coming up as leaders, it's very, very low. And we know increasing diversity and inclusion is critical to producing better and more responsible products. So women will more aggressively be included in the history of innovation and gain more visibility with advancements in technology. And women as technologists will bring valuable resources and innovation to the global community, helping amplify the good in everyone. So global organizations, just quickly, like Women in AI, are doing a great job to help women play a key role in the artificial intelligence sector. It's just quickly, we go across 150 countries. We have 10,000 members, 27,000 LinkedIn followers, and I am the Global Chief Partnership Officer for this organization. So it's really, really cool job to have. So the World Economic Forum says, and there's two really great female leaders that contribute a lot at World Economic Forum. That's Kayfirth Batterfield and Bina Amnanath. They say there are 5 ways to increase women working in AI. They said number 1 is support STEM education. And then they said showcase female AI trailblazers. And then mentor women for leadership roles. And then create equal opportunities. And then obviously ensure gender equal reward systems. And women in AI work towards this gender inclusive, responsible AI that benefits global society. The important thing that we do is we grow the numbers and the eminence, meaning their technical leadership in women in AI. And we do this across academia, government, all the institutions, startups, etc. And I really feel blessed that I've always had enormous job satisfaction. And I think if you have this entrepreneur mindset, and where you treat your career as your own business, with grit and resilience and growth and growth mindset and values and integrity, and I think humility is crucial for us, as well as then excellence should be your focus. And so I talked about 2 topics that I set out in the beginning, my career and the importance of mentorship and community. So just quickly, I want to talk about a bit more about mentorship and then how to handle a bit of challenges coming your way. I won't be long. So I believe that having 3 mentors at least at a time for all facets of one's career is an integral part of your professional growth. And I've always maintained at least three mentors in my career. I remember my first mentor at IBM, Ahmed Abbas. He told me to learn active and deep listening skills and apply it as much as you can. I cannot tell you how much that one sentence meant to me in my entire career. It helps you with your job. It helps you delighting your customers, managers, managing teams and all relationships. And Rafael Nadal, the Spanish tennis player, he attributes a lot of his career success to the ability to listen. I found that quite interesting. So, you know, I love working with men and women equally. And I never had this notion that men perform better or are treated better than women. I think I can thank my South African career for that. But so here's the thing, I moved to UAE in 2017. So, but I have this desire to always working to make a difference and getting recognition for it. And I know, very silly, to be loved by everyone. And I really had the imposter syndrome most of my career, always working harder than anyone else I know. And I had a wake-up call in my career the last couple of years when I found out that not all women will love me. So some people say they might have felt threatened, but either way, I don't know. I had to really, really focus to not feel bullied or offended, but I work even harder to try and make a difference and please everyone. And it was really when I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year that I realized what I was doing to myself. I had to become much healthier and much calmer. And I spent the past year recovering from surgery. Glad to say I'm cancer-free, not to worry there. But, you know, working with this nonprofit now, where there's so much support and excellence and wisdom and compassion, it's just amazing. But, you know, I'm grateful and I'm happy and I'm much, much healthier now and looking forward to finish my EMBA. So what I would suggest to everybody, just a guidance, is stay positive about the future, have a fresh mindset of prioritizing your health and your family when integrating work and personal life. I will not call it balance because there is no balance. And like Josephine said, there's always a trade-off. But your priority should be your health and your family. And I will be cognizant of my own perception of my performance going forward and be careful not to take any negativity personal, but learn from it and grow. So just remember, everyone wants you to succeed. That's what I'd leave everybody with.
Thank you, Debbie, so much. Thank you, Josephine. Wonderful female role models everyone should look up to. Debbie, yeah, seconding what you have said, since you talked about love. So yes, you are loved by everyone, honestly. So at EBS, you are loved by everyone. I would tell you that.
I know, thank you.
You are. So I'm new to EBS, but when we were designing for this webinar, you were among one of the top lists. Yeah, you and Josephine, you guys are loved by everyone. So yes, and I would also like to highlight what you have said. You have, when you talked about mentorship, you have mentioned the male figures, which is again shows how much understanding do we as women have towards our counter partners. And I will take a research topic from what you both have mentioned, talking about work-life balance, that it's very hard to achieve and there's almost no balance. And Debbie rephrased it in the term of integrating work and life together. I think this is a research topic that could be looked further. So if you guys are interested, you can work on this together or with me. So we can publish a paper on integrating work-life balance rather than calling it work-life balance or rather than giving it this word balance at all. So yes, thank you so much for these interesting and inspiring speeches. And you guys are perfect where you are. One more thing I have noticed going through your careers and your leadership roles, that you are both leading in areas that are male dominant again. So pharmacy or medicine, artificial intelligence, technology, or anything that has to do with business analytics and data analytics is again a male dominant field. And so you are the right people to talk about women in leadership today. Happy Women's Day to everyone. And now I will hand the talk to one of our women leaders at Eaton Business School from the admission office, Miss Sonia Nazir. She will talk about today's campaign announcement. So Sonia, the mic is yours.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Salma. It was a nice session and a great presentation. First of all, I would like to wish a happy Women's Day to all, and I'm thanking from my bottom of my heart to Ms. Debbie and Ms. Josephine for being a part of our webinar, Women in Leadership. And it was a wonderful speech and inspiration to me as well. Thank you very much. And yes, so I'm here to provide you good news to all our working executives at this special occasion. As a part of International Women's Day, we Eaton Business School is extending a special Women's Day offer for all the working female executives for MBA, executive MBA programs. As you can see, the offer is for our 7 MBA specializations, which is listed in the screen. Hope you can see my Ms. Salma's screen, the presentation. Yes. So the for 7 specialization which we are offering, the extended offer is International MBA, which is the first specialization, the Executive Master of Business Administration, Executive MBA in Supply Chain and Logistics Management, Executive MBA in Healthcare Management, Executive MBA in Business Analytics, Executive MBA in Project Management and Human Resource Management are the 7 specializations which we are offering. And the offer is Women's Day offer is extended for all these 7 specializations at this moment, subject to the registration completing on 15th. So Salma, can you please switch the screen? Yes, for your information, to give you an idea, the entry requirement for our executive MBA program is a basic bachelor's degree with a minimum of 23 years of experience and 3 years of work experience. And also, it is required that English proficiency of IELTS 6.5, which is a basic requirement. As you can see, as I mentioned, the bachelor's degree is the basic normal criteria. For your information, we do accept non-bachelor degree holders who's having a sufficient years of experience, which includes the managerial experience. And coming to English proficiency, we can exempt in case-to-case basis, as our program is for working executives and all our working executives are proficient in English as they were using in day-to-day basis for communication. And for admission from academic team, there will be a proficiency test through interviews or telephonic conversations for exempting these IELTS 6.5. As I mentioned, it is case-to-case basis. And to check your eligibility, if you wish to check, you can share the documents like your most recent updated resume or curriculum vitae is the first document. Second one, the academic certificate and the official transcript. Third one, a statement of purpose, which can be mentioned as also motivational letter. Fourth one, experience or employment letter. So these are the documents which you have to escalate if you wish to check your eligibility for the program as well as the Women's Day offer. So yes, coming to the offer, as you can see, the total fee for the program is $10,800, including the registration fees $1,100 and the course fees $8,200. And we do have a value add-on certificate, which is CMI fee with certified manager awarded by Cambridge International Qualification, which actually cost US dollars 1,500. So total fees is to US dollars 10,800. As a part of Women's Day, to all female executive, we are extending a special discount offer, US dollars 7,100, direct savings of 3,700, including the registration fees 1,100 and 6,000. The fee can be paid in one time if you are convenient about that, or else you can go for bi-monthly, quarterly, or semi-quarterly, or you can up to pay 12 monthly installments after, the registration fees. And as you can see, the offerings for this 7,100 US dollars are, you will receive 3 international certificates in one executive MBA of 12 months duration program. You will receive executive MBA program awarded by Guglielmo Marconi University, which is based in Italy. Second, graduate advanced diploma in the selected specialization or domain awarded by Cambridge International Qualification UK. And the final certificate, which is certified manager awarded by Chartered Management Institute UK, with 1 year affiliated membership with CMI. And please note the application is closing on 12th March 2022 and the registration is closing on 15th March 2022. Hope I'm audible for everyone. Yes, now it's time to have question answer session.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Sonia. Thank you so much for this strong campaign on the occasion of Women in Leadership. So I would like to welcome the audience for discussion, questions and answers. You can address questions to me, to Josephine, to Debbie, to Ms. Sonia. Okay, so we are all here to answer your inquiries, any questions if you have any. Okay, so we have 2 questions. I will raise the questions. Yes, okay. I will address this question to Ms. Sonia. So Majda is asking, when does the MBA start and how long will it take to complete?
Yes, our next batch for MBA is commencing on 18th of April 2022. As I mentioned, if you are going for Women's Day offer, the registration is closing on 15th March 2022. The duration of the MBA is 12 months, or else we can say it as 1 year, which covers 6 modules and 1 dissertation stage.
We have a question from Felicia. Felicia is saying, hi, Salma. She's from Ghana, and she's thanking Josephine and Debbie. And she wished to hear challenges in facing and financing your career as a woman, because there is one major challenge right now that she is facing. I'm only who has gone to school among children. My goal is to learn all. Struggling, I want to do MBA and MBA analysis. I believe. Okay.
Can I
so
answer that one?
Yes.
I want to just give her some hope.
Yes. Yes, please, Debbie. Yes.
Women in AI has a few partners that give sponsorship and will pay in full courses or even with heavy discounts. So just putting it out there, she can email me or contact me for any of that sorts.
This is excellent. Thank you, Debbie. Felicia, if you want to be provided with Ms. Debbie's contact, you can refer to Ms. Sonia. She will get back to you on this. She has the contacts for all the speakers today. Okay. Any other questions?
I can see Royce Amoni. Do you have any campus in USA? Yes, Miss. I don't know, Mr. or Miss Royce. Royce, actually, we do not have any campus in USA. Our programs are delivering through online, live, interactive sessions in which you can interact with our faculty as well as batchmates from different parts of the world.
Lisa is asking, does EBS offer full scholarship or accept scholarships solidated individually by its students?
Yes, as of now, we are, as I mentioned, we are offering Women's Day offer. More than that, we do offer international student scholarship of up to 25% based on the merit of the profile. If you wish to check your eligibility, you can share your documents like updated resume, your curriculum or your curriculum vitae, or the academic certificate, statement of purpose, and experience letter to one of your concerned academic advisor. We will get it done, evaluated, and we'll get back to you with the feedback.
Hello, I don't know if Felicia Marfat's question was answered.
Maybe I missed it. The Josephine, would you address it? I could not see it on my chat.
Okay, it just says Felicia from Ghana. Thank you, Josephine and
yes,
Debbie.
yes.
Has it been answered? Sorry,
yes. This is the one that Debbie referred to.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, ladies. Any other inquiries to any of the panelists? So, ladies, do you have any questions to the panelists, to myself, to Ms. Sonia? Any questions? Anything we can help you out with? Since we are on Women's Day today, and as Debbie said, we should support each other. So any questions, any help we can provide, anything you have in mind, anything you want to share with us, any comments you have on the presentation? Okay. I guess we don't have more. So that's it. I will be closing the session. And I would like to thank everyone. Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you so much, Josephine. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, beautiful audience out there. Hands up, and to all women out there trying to make this integrity among work and life. Yes. You are all heroes in your own ways, in your own regions, in your own countries, offices, houses, and everywhere. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for showing this interest. And yes, see you again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Salma. Thank you, Josephine. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, ladies. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yes. Yes, Felicia.
Yes,
Sonia.
Yes, you can reach me out on my email ID. Let me share my email ID here.
Yes. So Ms. Sonia sharing her email ID for anyone who has inquiries on the campaigning and everything.
Felicia, you can reach me out through my email ID. I will remain available over my email ID, and also I can share the contact number once you get in touch with me.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Khadija, we have Khadija with us. We have Majda from South Africa. Debbie, she's saying hi. We have Lydia. Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, I will close the session.